Thank you for tuning in. Please like, turn on notifications, subscribe, or share. Want to be a guest? Email podcast@tricountyareachamber.com.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Eileen Dowdrick, President of the Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank the people that you see up on your screen. These companies are very important to us and our work over the next 6 months. They are our mission and vision partners, our MVPs. And again, they are providing financial support so that we can continue to do the work that is in our mission and in our vision and focus on supporting all of you. So take a look at these companies, all great partners within the Tri-County region. Hope you are doing business with some of them, and if not, please check them out. Again, just some great community partners, so we thank them for their support. And good afternoon. I am not Bill Vitiello. I am, as I just introduced myself, Eileen, and this is my From the President's Desk segment of today's show. We are going to be doing things a little different this month. If you are not aware, March is Women's History Month, and we are going to have myself and Danielle Rexroad, our Marketing and Communications Director, host the shows this month. So we've given Bill some time off from doing the Chamber Chat show, and we are happy to be coming to you this month with special guests, women who are running organizations, running their own small businesses in this community, and we are going to help them tell their story and share it with all of you. And I just wanted to acknowledge our own efforts to support women through our organization. We used to have a program called Women of the Workforce, and about 1.5 years ago, we took the opportunity to redesign our program. It got a new identity. It's now called REACH. And we have REACH programming that goes on a consistent basis. Every other Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, we have a coffee chat, and that's an informal conversation with those who are interested in participating. We have one coming up tomorrow. And then quarterly, we've been holding luncheons for our REACH participants. And we will be having next REACH luncheon on March 29th at the end of this month. And we will be having a special guest. Congresswoman Madeline Dean is going to be joining us to provide some insight on how you can be a change maker. So we're looking forward to that presentation. If you'd like more information on REACH, please feel free to reach out to me, no pun intended, and we will get you connected with this fabulous group of women who participate. And then our final event for the program year is going to be in June. On June 29th, we are rescheduling our REACH half-day conference, which was supposed to happen last June. So trying to bring back all of the speakers. We had a great speaker lineup, and we're looking forward to being able to bring them back in the month of June. That's my From the President's Desk segment for today. And now I am going to welcome back onto the screen Danielle, who I mentioned earlier, who's our Marketing and Communications Director. This month, she's going to help with our interview process. And we have with us today, Kristen from Beverly's Pastry Shop.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hey, Kristen, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it.
We are happy to have you here. You have a great story to tell, and we want to help you do that. But you also have a great initiative going on right now, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show. So maybe you could just start up with the basics, who you are, what you do, and then we'll kind of take it from there.
All right, awesome. So I'm the owner-operator of Beverly's Pastry Shop. It's been the bakery in Pottstown for over 4 years. And I took over it will be actually 6 years. In February, we took over. So it's been a long 6 years. It was very unexpected 6 years because I did not have the mindset that I was going to open up a bakery in the downtown. 7 years ago, my mother and I were walking down the street and we saw the bakery and decided to stop in because I had recently retired from my corporate 9 to 5, actually 9 to 15 hours days corporate job. you wear 17 other hats and you only get paid for one. I decided to leave there, and we were walking down the street, and I wanted to do baking out of my home. I had always baked. I learned from my grandmother, and it was like a dream of mine. I was going to bake for people. And I said, let's walk in. And if, if you've been to Beverly's before I took over, you knew it was a little bit different than what it is now. It needed a facelift. She needed to get some Botox put into her, for so to speak. So I just walked out a little discouraged, and I said, "Oh, this is not really what I'm looking for." But my mother, who is an Italian woman that does not let you quit, makes you walk to school with no shoes on your feet. She said that she did. She walked in and she walked back down and she walked to the bakery. I hadn't talked to my husband. I hadn't talked to really anybody. I had no mindset of actually wanting to own a bakery. We got the keys on December 28th of 2014, and we opened up that following year in a month and a half. Remodeled everything, gutted everything, whole new mindset of we want sweet treats for all. I'm actually a type 1 diabetic, so we do keto in the shop. We do gluten-free in the shop for people who are celiac. We do vegan for people who are of that lifestyle or who have egg deficiency problems. We do a lot of things. We believe everyone deserves a sweet treat. And it's really worked out in our favor because we have moms and we have families that actually got to get their cake for their kid because it's nut free. And it's huge. It's a big issue in people's lives right now. So we really have kind of embraced this allergy friendly world. And I mean, I have people who come in with lists of allergies and we actually get to cater to them. So it's really, in that sense, it's really opened my life out to a world of people who don't really get to enjoy these things in life. And it's a lot of fun. Yes, and a lot of the cakes that you see on that page, we can do them vegan and gluten free. So you don't have to have just a piece of cake. We can do it fun and fancy for you.
That's awesome. I have a nephew who had a ton of food allergies, and I know my sister-in-law was always trying to find something that she could make, so he felt semi included on his own
Right.
birthday. You know,
Yeah.
the rest of us are sitting around eating a cake celebrating him, and it's finding that special thing that
Yeah.
made him feel special and
Yeah.
celebrated. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
And that's all it's about. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how obviously you walked past the bakery and you've been here for 6 years.
Yeah.
Talk to me about downtown Pottstown.
Oh, well, night and day would be the comparison that I would say because when I moved in 6 years ago, it wasn't as robust as you would say it is today. I mean, the restaurants alone, the caliber of our chefs that we have downtown, we have cute boutique shops. I mean, Gina with Once Upon a Time and Lisa with the bead shop. We never had that before, and that was things we were definitely lacking. We have people who are walking and doing a lot of stuff. There's huge events. That's the one thing that drew me to come back to Pottstown was our town is really big on community events like the festival with the flavors and stuff like that. I mean, it's amazing what we guys do down here. The Halloween parades, everything. So it
Well, and
it definitely has the revitalization is leaps and bounds where we were 6 years ago.
right.
Yeah.
And, we'll talk a little bit about, Danielle's going to ask you a little bit more about COVID and pivoting, but we'll
Yeah.
get to that. So, Drew had your website up a couple minutes ago. Beautiful cakes on there. I know you've won some awards, gotten
Yeah,
some
yeah.
recognition. Tell us a little bit about the notoriety that Beverly's has received.
It's hard for me to speak about this because I have 5 girls in here that work for me that are, I mean, every day I walk past them and I'm just like, how in the hell did you do this? It looks like it's real. They amaze me. And these girls are just, they're very driven people. And we had a cake competition. It would be 2 years ago now. because on March 17th last year it got canceled, which was, it was a little intense, but we won. We got told 4 weeks before the competition how to make this huge, enormous, under the sea kind of creation, and you had to have an edible part of it, and then the rest had to be made with edible, things, products. So we worked around the clock for 3 weeks. We created this 5 foot tall, huge under the sea, had an octopus on it. I mean, it was amazing. And they got to the judging part of it, and we didn't even recognize that our name was called. And then we were walking back down, and they called us again. And we won 4 out of the 5 awards of that night, which was unreal. You don't even, you're like floating at the same time because you're up against 32 other bakeries that have been in the business for years. And here we are, we're just out of the gate. I've never owned a business before. I've never owned a bakery before. And we just kind of, my cake decorator has an imagination like nobody's business. She, just wait till you see what we're doing for October. We just got the announcement for the new date, October 3rd.
Okay.
It's, right now I'm housing half of it in my basement at home. But the stuff that she's coming up with, I mean, unreal. And we're going to showcase it again for a year at Beverly's once we're done the competition. But it's awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, you mentioned these 5 girls. Are you connected to culinary programs? How are you finding employees, and, how do they come to find Beverly's here in small town Pottstown?
Right. So my head cake decorator is actually the sister of Nick Tornetta's, who owns Tornetta's Pizzeria.
Right.
And he was like, you've got to see what she can do. And I literally met up with her in Giant, and I hired her right there. It was amazing. But that's a rare unicorn story. You never hear of that.
No, she was decorating at Giant?
No, she was just walking around, and we all connected up with our grocery list. It was very random, but it's okay. But the other girls, I'm on the advisory board of York Technical Institute, which is out of Lancaster, and there's one in York, so I get a lot of interns from there. I also do a lot with Brandywine College, and I do stuff with Mungo College as well. I actually have an intern from Mungo right now working. So I do a lot with the interns, and I really enjoy that because they already have a little bit of experience, but that those girls want to do what they want to do because you've just gone through an 18-month program that is like intense, and it's a lot of work. So that they're passionate about what they're doing.
And that's fantastic. I mean, those are the connections that students need as well, just to be connected to the real life experience.
Right.
So actually coming into a facility like yours and, working in, like you said, the industry that they want to, and then they have the opportunity of, is this a real fit for me? Or,
exactly.
Do I need to go in a different direction? So I think that's an incredible opportunity, and I applaud you for doing that and for shaping the next generation. That's awesome.
I don't have babies, so I need someone to take this over in a couple of years. I need to retire one day.
Don't we all? I get that.
Right?
So I just have one more question, and then I'll turn it over to Danielle to ask you a couple things. So I know you just mentioned all of the special dietary needs that you can meet. What would you consider to be Beverly's specialty? I believe, if I'm remembering the bakery correct, in its prior ownership, I think she had a strawberry cake that she was known for.
Yeah,
it was one
shortcake. Yeah.
My aunt brought it to like every family gathering. I had an aunt who lived in Pottstown, and she brought that cake. So what would be the specialty that Beverly's is known for?
I would say probably still that. Probably still strawberry shortcake. I mean, we make it at least 2 or 3 every week.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the girls are really these custom. We have people that are coming from Philadelphia, Jersey. I have two weddings in Hershey just for our custom cakes because you can't even tell the difference. They look like real things. It's just not.
Right.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Very good. Yeah, that it is. Well, and it's
Yeah,
fun to look at them too, because I think, like you said, when you walk by, I think, not even working in a bakery, you see
yeah,
things like that, and you're just like, how? How do
yeah.
they possibly,
I
how do they
know.
do that?
I know. I
So,
know.
alrighty, Danielle, what do you have for Kristen?
So before I go into my questions, Kristen, I just wanted to say your baked goods are absolutely delicious. I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but I love your cookies, your
Oh, thank
pastries.
you.
They are so delicious. So if you have not
Thank
checked
you.
out Beverly's, please pay them a visit.
Thank
Um,
you.
I wanted to ask, when COVID hit and everything first shut down, how you adjusted to that. Traditional restaurants sort of quickly jumped into the whole takeout scenario. So, how did you adjust as a bakery to the initial shutdown?
Yeah, I mean, I have actually said Nick Tornetta from Tornetta's Pizza kind of picked me up a little bit on my bootstraps and said, okay, we're going to do this. Um, and he actually started selling my desserts, which kind of did a ripple effect. And a couple of other restaurants put my desserts on and sold it. And honest to God, not one of the restaurants took anything. They gave me what I made. I mean, it was hands down the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It was awesome. And then that's how we kind of rolled into, okay, we're going to do curbside. And I talked to the borough to kind of free up some spaces in front of the bakery on Saturday, like during the 10 to 12 hours, and get people to pick up curbside. So we did very limited, like, okay, you want some cupcakes, or you guys need a cake or whatever, everything by pre-order, and we did curbside. And that got us through until July when we were allowed to have like 25% or something.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure, with weddings and big events,
Yeah.
for months those weren't happening.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people were choosing to cancel them entirely. So I'm sure that had a big impact on you, those events not happening where you're making those big cakes and
Yeah.
pastries. I'm sure that had a big effect.
Yeah, and for bakeries, that's pretty much your bread and butter. No pun intended, but that is pretty much like that's where you're making most of the money because I mean, let me tell you, you got to sell like a million cupcakes to make a lot of money. But with the events, I don't think we had our first wedding until probably August. We had our first wedding back. And working with Sunnybrook, they were super creative. They did a drive-through wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the brides and their creativity this year for how to get married, they were really determined. They were like, we're getting married no matter what. So we had a lot of different outdoor events. I went to a wedding that was in a barn, and every single pew was outside of the church, spaced out 6 feet. Like people were doing everything and anything. So I think people got really creative this year. It definitely shows. I think COVID showed people if you're determined, you can get things done. There's always a way. So that's what I took away from it. If we can survive this, I can survive anything. Just bring it at me. I got it.
Well, and
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Eileen. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to jump in because I just wanted to comment on what Kristen said. And I have said this, that I think the most interesting and most rewarding thing for me to watch in our organization is just the resiliency and the creativity of our members. Those people who have that true entrepreneurial spirit figured it out. They figured out something that would help them survive, and make it through. And I think it's been exciting to watch. I think it's brought on some really cool opportunities for businesses that they probably wouldn't have maybe thought about or pursued.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Your cooking show for one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, and people have been telling me to bring that back. I have to bring it back. We just hired another person, which was amazing. So maybe I'll bring back some cooking shows because I have some time. But that's what I'm
Good.
saying. Like, if you just kind of stepped out of your comfort zone a little bit, I made relationships with my customers just texting back and forth on Facebook. I mean, relationships that I probably would have never had if we didn't have a couple extra minutes to talk to them.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a rough year, but you got to take those little nuggets of what you got out of it and really learn from it.
Right. Okay, sorry, Danielle.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna say, Kristen, from the start of when everything shut down, I commend you for just how positive you were and still are, and how you supported the business community. It always stood out to me when everything first shut down. I would always see your social media posts, and you were always sharing words of encouragement, and you were helping other businesses by sharing their posts and promoting them in addition to, having to support your business. So I really applaud you for that, just for being a positive light when things were so tough for everyone, and for showing so much love to other businesses who were struggling. So you still continue to do it, but when things first shut down, it was really needed. You were very selfless and just helping so many other businesses that were struggling. So I really commend you for that.
Thank you. You're gonna make me cry. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love this town. Like, I can't even. It's unreal how much I love this town, and I just want to see us like. I mean, you guys could have probably saw it. I mean, right before COVID, I had this like this is our year. This is our year, and it was like a really overwhelming feeling going into 2021. I was like, we're gonna do it. And then cooking, but we need to keep this momentum going because we have to, because this town is really about to pop. I think we have some like serious chefs. We have some serious business people. I mean, we have over 21 women in this town that are bosses. Like, that's unreal. Like, that's unreal. So I mean, it's quite amazing. It's a quite amazing town.
It's awesome, and that actually leads me right into my next question. I wanted to just ask you about your Downtown Lady Bosses initiative. If you could tell us about that, what you're doing this month, and kind of what inspired you to start that.
So last year would actually be the 100-year anniversary for women to vote. I don't know if you guys knew that. But August 18th, 1920 was the day that we actually got to the right to vote, which was huge. And it was very special to me. I am all about building up women, and I have, in the beginning of COVID, I brought 7 different women's businesses into the shop because I wanted to highlight them. I didn't want to have to spend the money on my rent or anything. I wanted to highlight them. And I really feel like 21 of us survived COVID. And that's huge for a woman. And to think, I mean, this is not a joking matter, but to think we used to be sold for nuts and beans, and now we're surviving pandemics and running businesses and pretty much leading the world. It's a huge thing that I think we need to celebrate, honor, and recognize. There's been people or women that have owned businesses for more than 20 years in this community. That's huge. That's something that we need to recognize, celebrate, and honor, because I don't think people understand 21 businesses are owned by women. That's huge.
Yeah, the challenges that women have faced, over the decades, it's amazing to see, someone like you and all the other women business owners in the area, how successful they've been, and, kind of breaking some of those stereotypes that have existed for a long time. But, it's such a strong community of female business owners. So I think your initiative is awesome. And if you could share, you started the group on Facebook and...
Yeah. So you have the group on Facebook that I encourage everybody, post what you want to post on there. We're going to be doing some raffles. I'm going to be working with a couple of restaurants to do some girls' night out specials. You can take your girlfriends out. And they're at the end of the month, there's apparently a really cool renewal moon, and it's on March 28th. So I'm working with Aaron Berg from Lily's Pub, and I'm working with Jennifer Fisher from Samana, and we're going to try and do a women's circle yoga brunch thing so that all of us can just celebrate each other. You can kind of release whatever you want to release, and we can move forward, because after last year, we need a little bit of release. Just a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a mimosa. Whatever.
That's fine too, yeah.
Of course. That should always be part of it. So,
Exactly.
before we round up today's show, just how can people find out more about Beverly's? How can they connect with you?
Beverly's is on Facebook, Instagram. We're on Twitter. You can generally just come in and say, "Hey, Kristen, are you in the back?" Or I go by Beverly, whatever. I'm always here. You can find out about the Downtown Lady Bosses on Facebook as well. It's posted on my page, posted on my personal page, everything. But come out and support these local women, because they're pretty awesome.
And Drew has your website up on the screen, and I know you have some beautiful pictures up on there of the designs that your team is able to create for people. So we encourage everyone to check out Beverly's. Like Kristen said, please stop by. There's always sweets in the case. We are fortunate we are located in downtown Pottstown. So when one of us needs to go outside of the office and venture downtown, you never know who's going to come back with some sweets from Beverly's. So, but we're fine with that.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All righty. So thank you, Kristen. Thank you so much
guys
for
so much
sharing
for
your
having me.
story.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Happy Women's Month. Go women.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you for all you do for downtown Pottstown. Thank you what you're doing with this women's group. And again, like Danielle said, just thank you for being a positive spot, through all of this, but always, you keep talking about how much you love Pottstown. And I think you should know Pottstown loves you just as much back. So thank you, Kristen.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Have a great month.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great to have you on.
Take care.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to close today's show by showing you one more time our mission and vision partners. We appreciate you tuning in. We hope you join us on Wednesday. This Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we will have Karina Hatfield of Wigner Insurance. Again, stay tuned to our Facebook pages and our website and our social media posts telling you who our guests will be throughout the month. And as always, if you are a chamber member business and are interested in being a guest yourself, please reach out. We'd love to feature you and your story on Chamber Chat. And
Thank you for tuning in. Please like, turn on notifications, subscribe, or share. Want to be a guest? Email podcast@tricountyareachamber.com.